Okay, so today we're going to talk about your business debut. But first, I would like to start by praising and appreciating you for taking the time to learn how to hold a business debut. By you watching this video, you're an excellent student and have already been working through your first checklist and starting your Pink Boot Camp. After you've decided on how much inventory you would like to keep on hand, you're going to book your business debut. It is the next item on your checklist. And remember, if you can conquer a checklist, then you will be very successful at this Mary Kay business. Keeping in mind, you do not need to finish all 5 of the Pink Boot Camp classes before holding your business debut and starting on your Power Start. Some people like to go fast and some people like to go slow. You determine the pace that's best for your starting your business. You'll want to schedule your business debut after your initial order has been placed. Most of the material that I will be covering today will be on conniebirch.pink underneath Pink Boot Camp, and it's called the Business Debut Packet. You'll want to print out this packet as there's follow-up scripts and pictures of other debuts that I have had in the past and other checklists. Let's start with the purpose of a business debut. The first thing is you're going to debut the products that you've decided to purchase. If at this time you've decided not to purchase any products, then there's no need for a business debut at this point in your business. I would just like you to go ahead and start booking your classes and facials, and you will use the products in your starter kit at those classes and facials. But most importantly, we want all of your family members to know that you have started a legitimate business, and we want them to support and know that they can go ahead and count on you. At your business debut, we want to debut you as a professional independent beauty consultant with Mary Kay. And we finally want to fill up your date book with all of these appointments. Many of our new consultants will have appointments 2 to 4 months after her business debut. So let's talk a little bit about the invitations and how inviting people to start. So in preparation for your business debut, after setting the date and figuring out the location with your recruiter or your sales director, you're going to mail out 75 to 100 invitations to people who already don't have consultants. Okay, I did say mail, where you're going to put an address and their postage and go to a post office and actually mail. And these are going to be the people on your contact list that are within driving distance. And I am really good at booking from appointments from your business debut. But I can't do that with people already that have consultants. So let's try to stay away from that if at all possible. Sometimes new consultants are nervous to send out this many invitations. And they're thinking, my house or my apartment will not hold 75 to 100 people. Don't worry, they all won't come. With 75 to 100 invitations sent out, you usually can expect 10 to 15 people to show up, depending on the follow-up that you do a few days prior to the event. Again, usually 10 to 20% you invite will come every time. Every time I've ever done a business debut, that's usually the norm. So invite everyone so they know that you are trying something new. So the next time that you run into them or give them a call, it can segue into that conversation about borrowing their face for the first 30 faces of your Power Start. Also, don't send out or mail out these invitations too far in advance. I would say usually 2 to 3 weeks is good, as you don't want it to be too far out in advance where they will forget. Now, the question is, do I absolutely have to mail these invitations? And I would say, yes, you do. So I usually will get 3 to 5 virtual invitations weekly on my social media, and I rarely pay attention to any of them. However, if I got an invitation in the mail and a virtual media invite, I would pay more attention to that invite. So you can and should use social media and text. So yes, please do that. It is a very efficient way to get RSVPs. But I don't want that to be the only source that we do. I would suggest 3 different forms of contact with these people minimum. So one would be mailing invitation, And then those invitations can be got from your sales director. If you don't know their addresses already, a good source is www.whitepages.com to be able to get that information. You should be very personal when messaging them. I wouldn't do a big group message on Facebook. I would write them a personal message with their name, so they don't think it's like a text blast or that you are messaging everyone. They are not coming to your debut for the Mary Kay products. I just need to say that. They're not, coming for me for the most part. They're coming for you. They might be coming for the 40% off coupon that is on your debut invitation, and that's okay. We want that. And I do want to make sure that you know that is off of one product, not a whole set. I want to make sure that you know that if you do have a small apartment and there's lots of people there, that's great. We want that as well, because there's lots of high energy that comes from a debut like that. So where to set up? Let's go ahead and go over that. Depending on how many people are coming, I would choose to have it around a kitchen table, in front of a fireplace, or if it's in your living room, maybe have a semicircle, and you're going to have your product, your inventory product, displayed beautifully on a table inside that semicircle, or again on your kitchen table. We want it to look like a retail store, so it's best to have a lot of your inventory out on the table, so it's easier for your recruiter or I to be able to find it and fill orders for you. If all the product won't fit on your kitchen table, then what you're going to do is make sure that it is at a room closest to us, but out of boxes and neatly displayed so we can find those products. There are some samples of that inside that business debut packet that I wanted you to go ahead and print off. At the table with us, I want the plastic bags, which we'll go ahead and put on your first order, sales tickets, and change for any cash purchases. You'll want to make sure that there is a place for you as well. So at that place, we want a date book. We want your hostess packet, so then people know that they can go ahead and book appointments with you here. You will learn what's in the hostess packet in another boot camp. Next, we're going to set up a place at a sink. Usually it's at the kitchen table, and they will be able to use the satin hands in that area. So you'll want towels, and then inside that satin hand set, there is step-by-step instructions. Some people will have myself and the recruiter that will go through that, and or even a family member if they know a lot already about the Mary Kay business. So as guests finish their satin hands, you're going to give them each a lookbook, which is one of our catalogs, a profile card, and a pen. And you can go ahead and have them sit down at that point. At the hostess program, it will be of your choice. Most consultants will use the one that comes in the starter kit, which is the 75 for 35 or 10, 15, 20% off. And you can go ahead and look up that hostess brochure that came in your starter kit so you're familiar with it. This will allow you to book group appointments to reach your Power Start much easier instead of 30 individual appointments. So it'll be 6 classes with 5 people, or 5 classes with 6 people, instead of those 30 appointments, individual appointments. So once they arrive, we'll have people start filling out their profile cards after they've done with their satin hands. And we will use those for drawings. You also will use those for information to send them out a catalog, which is our lookbook, quarterly. You're going to assign a family member or a friend to take care of the food. Do not set the food out prior to before we start. You can give them a drink, but try not to give them any food. And if you are the hostess with the mostest, and everybody knows about your spread of food or your favorite chocolate cake or whatever it is, by all means, have a spread of food. But if you're more like me, that you don't cook at all, just know that you can do something simple like a veggie tray or a fruit tray, little cookies, pink lemonade, and simple is fine. At least that's how I run my life. I want your goal only to be filling up the poster with 30 faces and achieving the power start. And for attire, I will be using or wearing a simple casual skirt or a simple casual dress. I don't want to be overly dressed for your business debut. I want your family and friends also to look at you as a business owner and that you take your business seriously. And I know you're already going to have your beautiful Mary Kay face on. Next, door prizes. Your recruiter and I will be bringing a few door prizes, and I will be handing out tickets throughout the program. And we'll be doing a drawing at the end. Even though myself or your recruiter will be doing most of the program, I want to give you a quick overview. As the guests come in, we'll be doing satin hands. So have the satin hands at the sink and set up with towels nearby. We will do the introductions of how people know you and a little bit about them and what their experiences have been with Mary Kay. Your director will explain the purpose of the debut. We will play a fun game for your guests to win their first chance at the product giveaway of why you had decided to start your Mary Kay business in the midst of your crazy life already. Your goals will be shared and your guests will know why you are going to be working on your power start and earning your first pearls. So they can help with either one of those. Your recruiter or your director will share her story and how she met you. Your recruiter or your director will go through and talk about some of the products in the look catalog. Keep in mind there are no products that will be put on your face at the business debut. It's more of like a show and tell event. We're going to highlight some of the products that they may want to use their 40% off coupon, and then we will take a group picture. Again, the 40% off coupon is off one product, not off of a set. On this group picture, what's nice about that is then they can share it on their social media and help spread the word that you have started your Mary Kay business. You will have 2 checkout stations, one for your recruiter and I to help fill up your product orders that have been placed that day. And the other one will be for you to book your appointments and for your pearls. Okay, so that's the program itself. We will be talking most of it, but at one point I will look at you and ask you why you've started your Mary Kay business, but don't share that secret ahead of time. And I will prompt you during that of when we want to go ahead and tell everybody. So now let's talk about the follow-up before the debut. This is probably the most important thing that you will hear today. You will need to follow up with communications 3 days prior to the event. Personal text messages or private messaging through Facebook. Try not to send group messages, but private messages to each person. Put her name on it and make her feel important. Inside the business debut, will be some scripts. When making calls, make sure you lower your voice an octave, but be very excited and genuine. I want them to feel the energy when you're talking to them. As you're messaging people, you want to keep track of their responses and have a list of all the people that you've invited. And then by name, if they've said yes, no, or maybe. If they've said maybe, it truly usually means no until she turns it into a yes. If she says no, I want to use it as an opportunity to book her for her facial towards your first 30 faces immediately. Again, there are great words in a text that you can respond to that will allow you to add some appointments to your date book before the date of the actual debut happens. Most consultants will already have a few appointments on their date book when I arrive. Your goal is to fill up your date book with appointments, and I would look at your Mary Kay date book right now and go ahead and schedule 3 hours where it's non-uninterrupted time where you can go ahead and follow up again prior to your debut. On this part of the debut, it is more important to follow up with them than the food prep or clean house. And because I can assure you that when you send a quick reminder text the morning of, letting everyone know that the program starts promptly at the time we mentioned. I want them to know that it's not an open house and that we will not be putting product on their faces, but that, and I want you to thank them in advance for coming and appreciating their support. Okay, let's talk about kids. Now, I love my kids. I love everybody's kids, but kids at a debut can be disruptive. So I would almost even say if somebody usually brings her kids, say, okay, just tell Tony that he's on duty that night and, and know that it's a girlfriend event. Because sometimes when people will bring their kids, your sales will go down, the bookings will go down because there's interruptions, and I don't want that for you. Okay, so now let's talk about your date book. Go ahead and highlight some dates and times that work best for you. Remember, the philosophy of Mary Kay is God first, family second, and career third. So you will tell your family and friends when you're not available and not the other way around. I don't want you to say, oh, I'm available anytime in March. I want you to have highlighted times so your family values comes first. I would like to sit with you sometimes when you're doing the guest checkout as I'm watching you set the times and give them the hostess packet. Once I feel very comfortable with that, I will walk the room, help set up some career chats, see if they have any product questions. After the debut, there is a great checklist of what to do after your debut. That's included in your business debut packet. So you'll want to be sure to walk through that checklist and not to miss any important steps. Finally, my last step is don't worry. Just follow the checklist and you will have a house full of people and a date book full of appointments and a heart full of excitement. Also, for prep of last minute changes, that will happen. A lot of people said that they would be coming, they won't be. Some people that said that they can't, they will. But always make sure that you follow up. If you've heard nothing else through this whole entire debut video, is follow up, follow up, follow up. The more you follow up, the more successful it will be. And sometimes it can be very discouraging because if you invite 100 people, and like I mentioned, 10 to 15 people will come, 10 to 20% will show, there might be 80 no's. And it can be, like I said, it can be discouraging. So just know that anybody that says no, it gives you a great opportunity to go ahead and book them one-on-one or in a group appointment to get towards your power start. But I can't wait to debut your products, and I'll see you in a little while.